and welcome back to the channel. Today, I can't wait to sit with you mamas as I finally get to share with you guys our literature and language arts pick for our homeschooling 2021-2022. If you'd like to see more, then let's get started. Hey you, did you hit that play button for the very first time? Well, welcome to the channel. I'm Tasha. This is Tasha Pivots, where we talk about all things mamahood and homeschool and how I'm pivoting through this journey. And I'm so grateful that you chose to be with us today. First and foremost, I cannot take any credit for this pick. I honestly have to thank you guys. Thank you so much to every single one of you who commented, messaged, emailed me after my video where I talked about going back to the drawing board when it came to choosing our third grade pick for our language and literature. And yeah, that video, I really struggled because I wanted to be honoring and honest with you guys, and I just appreciate all of you, with your support, your kind words, and also being able to share with me what you were using or what you have found to be more inclusive, to be still encouraging and still meeting the basic steps and foundations for our children in their learning in literature and language. And I will say, first and foremost, I have had a little bit of a struggle because I have been really enjoying the Charlotte Mason style of learning when it comes to our literature and language arts. And previous to today, we were only using a year of learning. And I shout out to Lisa. I love her dearly and I love her heart posture for it. You guys know, if you've been with me for some time, I have an entire playlist that is geared all to a year of learning. From a year of Tales to a year of 100 Acre Woods, and how much I enjoyed doing that with my daughter for first and second grade. It really gave a different perspective to learning with my daughter, learning in a new way that I had never learned. And so, of course, when my books came in, I was like, it's a textbook. But all that to say, we have chosen for our Homeschool 2021-2022 Literature and Language Arts our Lightning Literature Grade 3. I am so excited. It's here. We are ready to go. And again, thank you guys so much for your support and for sharing with me. I did the research. I looked up both of one of the two primary ones you guys shared with me, which was the Brave Writer and the Lightning Literature, and spent some time looking at what they offered, what the budget looked like for what they required, as well as was it still going to be a smooth transition for my daughter, going from more of a Charlotte Mason style to being more textbook style, and what does that look like for her, and that she could still enjoy it and enjoy the process as she's continuing to evolve in her education. And so Lightning Literature, I just felt wasn't too mundane and it wasn't too contrast from what she had already been doing wrapping up her previous year. And knowing that my daughter's already heavily into chapter books and just her reading level has progressed so much, I wanted to continue fostering that, creating opportunities for us to dive deeper in our comprehension and in our literature. And I saw that Lightning Literature offered that. And so first and foremost, I love that they make it so easy to navigate what you would like to purchase, and the cost seems very efficient and affordable. And at first I will say it took me a minute to find it. So when I first put Lightning Literature in Google, the first thing I got was a lot of blogger reviews. And those helped, true enough, but then I was like, okay, so how do I get to the link? And so I didn't realize that Lightning Literature was under a different header as far as Hewitt Homeschooling, and that's where I found our textbooks. And I loved, again, that they had different packages or bundles, if you will. So the first one was you could just order the textbook or the teacher guide, or you could order a full bundle of just the two. And then they have a massive bundle, which I thought was really cool too, where you could get the textbook, the workbook, and all the chapter books required to do the curriculum for the year. I chose to go ahead and just get the bundle of the two. So as you guys can see, this is the teacher guide that I have right here. And then I have the children's workbook, or student workbook, if you will. And so these came in, it didn't take very long, very easy. Another thing I loved was that even though say you wait till the last minute, or you do like I did my first year of homeschooling, where I started with one curriculum and by December I was like, we're not doing that, we're changing our minds. I liked that if you ever had to do that, when you purchase this, they automatically give you a PDF version of the first 5 weeks. And I thought that was amazing, because that gives you the opportunity that you don't have to wait to get started. You could go ahead and have it, you could plan it, prep it, and be ready to go. So with the 5, or it's more than 5 books that are required for this curriculum, I chose to buy those separately, which are on their way, simply because I have a teacher's card with my Barnes & Noble, and I also have access to be able to, some of the books I already owned. And so I didn't want to buy a bundle just to have a second copy when I didn't necessarily need it. Some of the books, just to share with you, is Charlotte's Web, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Mr. Despero, I think is how you say it. And so I'm really excited for my daughter to read all these. Charlotte's Web she's already read, but we read it as a family book, read aloud, but we're excited to dive in it in a completely different way. So I'm gonna hop over to the table and give you guys an official flip through, simply because some of you are still thinking about what you're doing for your language arts and literature, and I never want to not give you an opportunity to see what you're getting, or see what you can get a little sneak peek of, and then share with you guys my impressions of it all as we're going through it. All right, guys, trying to fit these both in the screen is probably not gonna work so well, but again, here's the 3rd grade teacher's guide here, and then the children's or students workbook. We're gonna start with the teacher guide, because that's what we're gonna be using the most. And so I'm gonna first flip it open with you guys. It's got, very similar to most textbooks, where it's listed out per every single week for the 36 weeks. And I always like that, because it's telling you what book you're going to be covering all the way through, which here it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there's a book of poetry, which I thought was cool because we love us some poetry. How to use this as a teacher's guide, literature section, reading section, daily reading, just like literally a full description on how you are best to use, and what is all included with questions and activities. I like that it is mapped out for a 4-day lesson week, just like I already do in my home. We do school Monday through Thursday, or Tuesday through Friday, depending on the season we're in and what our schedule looks like. It has day 1. It's very black and white, very simple. It's not overly complicated, which I like that, especially with now that I'm not only going to be teaching my daughter, but I'm also going to be teaching my my preschooler. And so with that, it's going to need some time for me to be able to navigate my schedule a little bit more effective. So I like that it has where you're reading the chapter, and then you're breaking it down with discussion questions, grammar machine, composition, and all of those different areas, which I think is great, because that is exactly the level at which Zoe is at right now when it comes to going into 3rd grade. Even though she is testing at a 3rd and to 4th grade reading level, I want to make sure that she is fully comprehending and being able to break down the things that she's learning. I think it's going to work really well with our writing with ease, as well as we continue to practice our writing skills. And it looks like even for 4 and 5 with your child, you're going to be asking certain questions. I like that it still gives us opportunity to have conversation with our kids. They're not just simply doing book work. So as you guys can see, there's that. And then week 2 at a glance, it gives you what you're going to be covering, what is it going to look like, reviewing your nouns and adjectives, to nonfiction descriptive writing. So she's going to get a lot of writing practice in this upcoming school year, which I love, because that's really going to help catapult her into the next few years of her education. So I don't want to go every page is pretty roughly the same here. So let's head over to the child's or the student's workbook. All right, so student workbook, again, it has the same cover. It just has the difference in letting you know that it is the student workbook. It is proofreaded, so I'm glad about that, because I don't like workbooks. I like to sometimes put them in A sheet, so you know, that's me being picky. But anyway, table of contents. It breaks down for my daughter, again, what her weeks are gonna look like and what pages to find them on if I was to keep everything in the book. And I may do that, or I may actually take them out and let her use one of her cool folders to have them in, and I will always do whatever that week's lesson's gonna be, it'll be in that folder until we're done with the book, and that may be an option. We'll see. Okay, so day 1, as you can see, they're going over nouns, and there is a lesson here. I'm gonna adjust the camera just a tad so you guys can see the front. So there's the front, day 1, going all the way down. And then here it's adjectives on day 2. So just remembering those key elements in our literature and what we can use as descriptive words to learning just proper punctuation and parts of speech. So I think that is great. Again, on day 2, so it looks like it's 2 pages. It's not super extensive, and I think that's great going into her first week. We're going to be doing a lot of reading aloud with those chapter books and having that time together. She gets a really cool activity here. That's really awesome. Some questions here, and also encouraging her to do maybe some activities. And then going on to day 4, it's a little bit more broken down, a little bit more wordy, going ahead and explaining what you're doing from subject to the diagramming and the different assignments. So each page is numbered, which I thought was great. And then the lessons. So again, I'm going to tilt it up just so you guys can see. There's the day 4 and how it's explaining what you're actually doing for each one. And then it wraps up. And then you're going into the next week. Excuse the car. Okay, so there was a car going by. Nonfiction descriptive writing, so there's some writing practice here. So again, this is going to be a lot different for my daughter, because before it was, we had our Bible time, she had a little bit of writing, a lot of arts and crafts happening, and then a lot of supplemental reading that was going on throughout the week. And so this is going to be a little bit more skimmed down, but it's okay because she already has a lot of handwriting practice doing, as well as she does a lot of independent reading and book reports. And so it all kind of ties in with her literature and language arts area. And you guys will see more of how I have that mapped out for her upcoming school year. So check that video out. That should be coming out tomorrow for the planning. What I think of Sarah and Plain and Tall. So there is some writing excerpts here where she can give kind of a full summary of her understanding of what she liked about it. And again, her now testing those skills that we just practiced in that week 1 of nouns and adjectives, and then writing them in a sentence. So that's really cool. I have trying to decide if I'm still going to have my child do some spelling words and doing some definitions and pulling those out of the books that they are offering for this literature. So that may be a possibility. And so this is pretty much it, guys. I think it's pretty self-explanatory what you see in these workbooks. It's pretty simple, but knowing me and how I am, I will always find a way to find it a little bit more challenging and engaging for my child so that she can understand it and that also she can enjoy this part of her literature and language arts. All right, guys, so those are the 2 books. Again, this is the student workbook, and it's for 36 weeks for 4 lessons a week. You can always extend it for a 5-day, but in our home, we only do 4, so I think that will do great. And yeah, so that is my flip through. I think that it's really great as far as making it simple and easy to follow. And with all of the books that we get to go and dive into and pointing out some of those adjectives, nouns, different grammatic things, it's going to be great. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We are excited to start with lightning literature. I can't wait to give you guys a progress report after our first quarter and kind of give you an idea of how we're enjoying it. Is it a smooth transition? Are we really diving in and growing in these different areas? Yeah, so if you enjoyed this video or if you have any other questions, you know what to do. Leave those in the comments below. Give this video a warm thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And until next time, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll talk to you later.